On this week's episode of Friend Code, it's time for the Nintendo E3 evaluation. Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Friend Code. I'm your host, Michael Damiani, and on this week's episode, I'm joined by Kyle Bosman.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Evaluation
episode, which, to Kyle Bosman's delight, we will be giving a grade at the very end. It's not just Nintendo Direct, it is all of Nintendo's efforts at E3.
Whoa.
Based on what we talked about today, so.
Jeez.
Not comprehensive, but...
All right.
And it can be whatever kind of grade. It can be a letter grade. It can be a numeric grade. I don't care how many decimal points you give it. That's my style.
For evaluations, for some reason, I want to give it a letter grade, like a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a high school grade, you get the paperback. You've been evaluated.
I was going to give it a letter grade, so
Okay.
I guess if we're all giving it a letter grade, we're all going to give it a letter grade.
Excellent.
That has been
Across the
decided.
board.
Before we dive in, I want a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way. So you might be wondering why there wasn't an episode of Friend Code last time. There was basically a gap. What happened was, the week of E3, I was doing all this planning, and in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting Game Explained this week, and we're going to be talking about Nintendo stuff. And I was like, that's just going to be the episode.
Put it up on YouTube,
And
dude.
I didn't and I just never hit me in the head that the original idea was to have them come after the Nintendo Direct, like one of the nights, and do a big like Nintendo segment. And they couldn't commit to that. They're just too busy during E3, so we got the predictions segment, which Jonathan Metz also joined us for. I thought it was a great segment. The problem is it was a predictions segment, which became horribly outdated the moment the Nintendo Direct went up. So trying to put that up as a episode of Friend Code the Sunday after E3 for patrons and Tuesday after, that wasn't going to cut it.
Low entertainment value.
That's not. I mean, it's good discussion. It's just so irrelevant.
Yep.
I was just worried people get tuned out, and because we didn't really end our E3 coverage till like the after midnight on Thursday, there was and we took like pretty much Friday off. There was just no time to get people together to do a Friend Code episode in time.
How much of your predictions was about Star Fox?
I think the predictions are more about what would it take to get us excited and what do we expect to see from it.
Yeah. And I guarantee for everyone it was more than what we got.
Oh, yeah. I think actually Jonathan Metz was, the most grounded in terms of what we should expect.
Yeah.
I think he might have read I preface it by saying there was a rumor that came out that day that said you need to keep your expectations in check.
Yep.
And I think he just completely subscribed to that. He's like, they're probably just showing a lot of Smash.
Smart man.
And very little of anything else.
Smart man.
Deep down in my heart, I knew that was true too. I was like, geez, it's just going to be Smash Brothers, isn't it? But we'll get to that. We'll get to about it was just Smash Brothers, stuff like that. But anyway, that is why there was no episode the weekend after E3. But I hope you enjoyed having the Game Explained crew and Jonathan Metz on for that special discussion. So hopefully that substitute was enough for you that week. And we are returning to our regularly scheduled posting for Friend Code this week. And yes, this is the E3 evaluation episode. And as I like to do with every single episode, is I work in patron-submitted questions for $5 up patrons to help lead the discussion. And I want to start off, the theme of these first few questions is what wasn't actually at E3 for Nintendo.
Metroid.
Or things that were just missing in general from things that were announced as well. Like, things might have been announced, but not all the details were quite shared. So I want to start off with my first question.
Okay.
Wait,
your question or from...
I have my first question.
Okay, all right.
I want to know this of the panelists. What game were you most disappointed it did not show up
Castlevania.
at Nintendo's Direct?
What Castlevania?
Castlevania. What?
Castlevania.
What?
We have a brand new Castlevania game coming to mobile, dude.
I demand Castlevania returns.
You have Bloodstained 2D came out like on every platform.
I'm just trolling right now.
Yeah,
no, Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime.
Okay,
Metroid Prime 4 easily, hands down. If you're gonna have a title reveal, 1 year, I expect the next time, full. It was E3, right? When they showed the logo.
Yeah,
1 year
that's
ago.
1 year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So a full year goes by. I expect to see, even a like a CG tease at that point. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
throw together some weird like short film Beyond Good and Evil style, or even like they did with Smash, and maybe they just didn't want to step on Ridley's toes because they had the whole like Samus Ridley thing.
Yeah.
But something to that effect would have even been nice to say like, hey, a little bit of progress, still cooking, haven't forgotten about it. So for me, Metroid.
For me, it was Star Fox Grand Prix.
All right. Yes. Makes a lot of sense.
You know, I love everything Retro does. It's crazy how good they are at what they do, you know, taking on franchises that they shouldn't be able to be good at and just knocking them out of the park. I'm really, really excited to see it. I understand it wasn't there this year because the game isn't coming out this year, and so it'll be around. Just would have really loved to have seen that game. That is the game I'm most visually curious to see. You know, I kind of can visualize Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
I can't visualize Star Fox Grand Prix. I can't even like think of what it looks like.
I'm thinking just like F-Zero, but Fox McCloud driving around, you know?
Yeah, but there's also like the story mode, dude. There's also
Yeah.
like hub worlds and stuff. And so like, do we have little carts, or are we just like flying around in our R-wing around
You
this
get to
hub
walk
world?
around on foot at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of questions, and I think just being able to see what it just looks like would have gone a long way. But as you said, Kyle, it was not a 2019 or 2018 title.
Yep.
They were the only title they talked about that was exclusive. There was a bunch of games that got pushed in 2019 that were originally 2018.
Yep.
So Fire Emblem and Yoshi. So those don't really count as new announced for 2019 games. I think the only one was the Daemon Cross Machina was early 2019.
Yeah.
I believe was the only brand new game announced that is for 2019 that.
Because Mario Party is this year.
Yeah, I believe. Super Mario Party is this year.
Okay.
And I think
Good title, man.
They really stuck to it.
Really good title.
Super Mario Party.
Like,
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
We got stuff about it.
Okay, all right.
I'm excited.
But yeah, I definitely agree. And a lot of people wanted me to point this out about Metroid Prime. I think we've already mentioned in previous episodes that there was the possibility of it being announced so early, like they did, is because they wanted to kind of curb any potential backlash from Samus Returns.
And you know what? It worked.
It worked. Yeah, it ended up being fine. So it might not have ultimately been necessary, but it still got people excited. Reassured Metroid fans. They had to deal with like Metroid Federation Force basically. Pokemon also the same thing with the Sun and Moon versions, the newer versions coming out, and like.
Oh, last year. You mean.
Last year. They were like, okay, people are getting a little down on Pokemon too. Let's just say that. But apparently, slipped my mind, reader or viewers pointed out that Reggie also made a statement last year, or at some point, saying that the reasons for the announcements last year, because it was the start of the Switch life cycle. They wanted to get people excited. It was its first E3 for Switch. Yeah, they just wanted the buzz to keep going and stuff. Even if they weren't coming out anytime soon, they wanted people to see what was on the horizon. So they broke their normal rule of announcing something that's within like a year's like release window.
It doesn't bother me.
But they have no history to support that is their rule.
Yeah, I know.
They cannot say that's our normal rule when it's never true. Oh, come on, please.
I know.
Please,
It's
Nintendo.
BS. But
I like the acknowledgement though, and the fact that he just came out and said it like that. That's cool. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes I just want a developer to say something exists, even if I know it's 10 years down the line.
Right, like it's weird to be mad at them for announcing Metroid so early and also being mad at them for not showing enough this year. You know, it's hard to be mad at them for both things.
yeah.
And so it's like I'm kind of happy for them for pumping the brakes as hard as they did this year, in a way. I'm cool with it, in a way. It's being responsible.
You done good, Reggie.
Poor Reggie.
Poor guy. You know what? He's above it, dude. He's so above it.
At this point, how long he's been there?
He does not read his mentions on Twitter. He's fine.
He's like, whatever, guys.
What do you say? He said that like when he's just walking around in the streets, people ask him about Mother 3. Like he does not have an easy life.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it.
Grocery,
my
you go in a
gosh.
grocery store, can you imagine like
Yeah.
the checkout person's like, got any updates for me from Mother 3, Reggie?
Any
Not
word?
this week. Sorry.
You know what though? Like if I'm a millionaire, if I'm Reggie, I'm just like, let's just do Mother 3 so people don't bother me anymore. Let's just do it,
Yeah.
Please.
Write the check.
Just so I can sleep at night.
I mean, that could be true. I would suggest, I don't want to, I don't, not like it's a subject maybe for another episode. There is an article out there that was from that, like, was it Game Informer? Some article from an outlet that basically put forth what their source told them about why Mother 3 isn't coming out.
And is it content reasons?
It's a piece. There's something in that game that Nintendo does not like. They would have to walk on eggshells about, and they're just worried that it would invite criticism that they just don't want to deal with their games.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they just don't know how to tackle it. They think either side, no matter what they do, is going to come at them.
Jeez.
So that was, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what one source put forth. I suggest you go read that and maybe like dive into that if you want to see like maybe even if they really want to do it, what might be holding them back.
Before you shout at Reggie on the streets,
Yeah, because
read the article.
It's not really. I don't think it's really Reggie's fault.
Sure.
Our first question comes from Joseph, and my phone's misbehaving right now. Sorry. Hi, allies.
Hi.
Actually, it was
Hello.
Hey, allies.
Hey.
With so many Wii U games currently on Switch or coming to Switch soon, I was considering selling my Wii U to a friend who just wants a cheap way to play Breath of the Wild. However, there's one major title that makes me want to cling to this console, and it sadly wasn't announced at E3 like I was hoping. Super Mario Maker.
The only one left.
Where is it? Do you think it's coming soon, or is something making Nintendo hesitant to release a port or enhanced version? By the way, looking forward to those Odyssey levels and Captain Toad, Joe. So, were you bummed out at all that like Super Mario Maker wasn't there? And do you expect this is coming or some kind of Mario Maker's coming?
I do, right? Like, I think they announced Captain Toad and another one on the same day, another Wii U thing. That could be an incorrect memory. Tropical Freeze with Funky Kong. I don't know. It wasn't the same time. There's just a lot of overlap with that
Donkey
stuff.
Kong, Hyrule Warriors, and Captain Toad.
Yeah.
These year's 3.
Pokken, like it's just happening a lot. I think they just don't want to dump them all out. I think Mario Maker is the hardest conversion. That's a hard port to do on Switch just because of technically like the gamepad rules. They did it on 3DS, but which again had touch controls, has good touch controls. And what you told me that you can just get a stylus for a Switch. I'm just not buying it, dude.
I think the problem is how do you play it docked?
Yeah, and you can't play the game docked without just like using a grid, and it just won't feel good. And so yeah, I think it'll probably happen. I think it's the hardest conversion. Like you have to put in the most work to do that one. You can't just add Funky Kong. You have to fundamentally rethink a lot of things for a Switch version of that game.
Which makes me think they'll just do like either a bonus edition, like a director's cut for Switch, where they just like add in some extra stuff, or they just go the sequel route.
Yeah, I'd prefer a sequel.
Yeah,
I'd prefer something built for Switch.
I think it'll say Super Mario Maker 2.
You know what I want is Super Mario Maker 64.
That would be awesome.
That's what I truly want. That's
Super
what I
Mario
actually
Maker,
want.
I mean, 64. It probably won't be called 64, but I want 64 content. Maybe this called Super Mario Maker Galaxy.
Sure.
Just making planets.
No, because it
Making
includes
planets,
the whole Galaxy of Mario stuff.
Yep.
Up to Mario Galaxy.
Yep.
That would be amazing. Imagine having to edit and alter the gravity effects. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This doesn't even seem possible.
Yeah,
it seems so crazy.
Right. Like it's like
It's possible.
Dreams has taken this long to develop. Like I don't know.
At the very least, maybe if it's not 3D for the Galaxy stuff, they are 2D side-scrolling parts of Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh yeah, you can do
and they use that, so they could maybe just add like the gravity effect.
Good call.
From that.
Yeah.
And for like Mario 64, maybe get like I don't know, 64. I think that could be like the most advanced. Is making like a Mario 64 size level. They aren't that terribly big. And they're basically just glorified like obstacle courses by today's standards.
Can you imagine if you could do both and like you start out like just going through like Super Mario 1 to 2 to 3 to World, and then like you come out of a pipe and you're in like Mario 64. Oh my god.
It'd be the trailer, dude. That's the trailer.
Oh my
I want
goodness.
that.
That's the trailer
I like
moment. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, but yeah, to answer that question, I think that one in particular is just a super hard conversion. I'd expect to see 3D World or U, new Super Mario Brothers U. I'd expect to see those sooner than even Super Mario Maker.
Oh, ports of those.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a feeling Mario Maker will be a brand new update. It won't be a just straight port or even an enhanced port.
Yeah.
I firmly believe it'll be like they'll designate it as something that's like a sequel essentially.
The 2 Bayonetta games, I forgot about those. Those were brought in as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 and 2.
Yeah, Switch has a lot of Wii U games right now. I think soon you'll be able to sell your Wii U to your friend.
Yeah.
Soon there will be practically no reason.
I feel good.
Yeah. What's weird though is I kind of like it. Huber, I know you have a deep disdain for the Wii U.
Deep.
I can't imagine getting rid of it at this
It's only
point.
personal though.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to hate anything, but I know, like, guaranteed I used it the least out of any system I owned ever.
Yeah, ever.
You know, because at least like PS4 and Xbox have so much overlap, but at least sometimes like I'll use my Xbox for Netflix or something if like the PS4 is plugged in somewhere else or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, you should see my Wii U now. Just thick layer of dust. Probably a lot of Wii U's out there, though. I mean,
What's funny though is I use my PS4 every night. It also has a thick layer of dust on it. I hate that
happens.
phrase. I hate that phrase, collecting dust,
Yeah.
because it's not like the consoles shake while you use them. It's like they all collect dust.
gotta wipe it with a diaper, Kyle.
The console itself?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you
Wipe-
clean your
yeah,
stuff?
wipe it down.
Compressed gas.
I just need like a little feather duster. I think just.
Compressed gas. Go.
Yep. Oh
all
yeah,
good.
compressed gas is good too.
That works too.
Yep.
Yo, quick score, 3D World, go. Don't think about it, go. Score. 1 to 10, go.
8.1.
8.4.
What's yours?
9.3.
Okay.
Okay.
Co-op.
Co-op.
Co-op,
is
baby.
why it's 8.1, dude.
Last thing I'll say about Wii U, Huber, I use it as a system to play. I think it's the best for me playing virtual console stuff on there.
Yeah,
it's already hooked up,
dude.
and it's
yeah,
back,
you can't sell it, man.
and it's backwards compatible with Wii, so I don't have to plug in my Wii anymore because I can play my
Yeah.
Wii games on that, and they go through HDMI. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it still has its uses for now. That's why I was hoping for Switch to start adding those games digitally, because once I can get every game digitally that I had on those systems on Switch, like, all right, now I don't really need you anymore.
Not gonna happen though.
Hey, Donkey Kong Arcade came out on the eShop as a standalone arcade classics thing, so
That wasn't Nintendo though. That's that cool company
I
that
know,
brings all
but
those Neo Geo games.
standalone stuff, maybe.
It's so annoying because I still need my PS3. You know, think about that
yeah.
transition and that life cycle. It's like all those PS1 classics on there. I still that's how I play Resident Evil 2, like on my PS3. So I hope Nintendo sorts it out, gets some virtual console, some kind of transfer. Like, is that wishful thinking, guys?
That's wishful thinking.
That's
I think
so
they have
much
no
wishful
interest.
thinking.
I think they have no interest in it, dude.
I think sadly, yeah, Microsoft has them all beat in this department.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Crushing
one,
it.
that's the one area that they just like, you don't have to worry about this. Bring your games forward. That's their focus.
Dude, even original Xbox games. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
nuts.
so
That's
good.
so nuts.
Next question comes from Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Yo,
Sony and Microsoft continue to show games that won't be available for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's on
especially in Sony's case, this strategy commands attention at E3.
True.
Nintendo, however, seem to show games that will likely be available before the next year's E3. There have been some exceptions.
Yoshi.
If you agree that these companies are taking these approaches, how does Nintendo's strategy compare? Was this the right E3 for Switch's fiscal year 2018, or should they have revealed more?
Let me get condescending for a second.
Ooh,
Nintendo has nothing like Ghost of Tsushima. Nintendo has nothing like that. Granted, they won the last two E3s with garnering attention, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
With Zelda, with Mario, 2 years running, it's like game of the show. You earned it. You did a great job at E3. They have nothing like that kind of game, where I don't know if it benefits it to show it in that incomplete state. The way their development works, I think they're not comfortable with it. They're different kinds of games, and Nintendo obviously sees great success with advertising their kind of games, and so. I don't know. It's weird. I don't think Nintendo should emulate Sony and Microsoft in their reveals until they have games like that. And I think you know what I mean when I say games like that. I don't mean to be condescending about budget or quality or caliber, but I think you get what I'm saying,
I get
right?
what you're saying.
You're basically saying like their Nintendo Direct or their Switch presentation in the beginning of 2017 when they had Breath of the Wild trailer, Super Mario Odyssey trailer. Like if those had been revealed at E3 2016 instead. Like E3 2016 is like, hey, it's a Switch reveal party. Here we go. Here's a Switch. Here's Super Mario Odyssey. Here's Breath of the Wild. Like if those were not coming out for at least another up to 2 years later, I think that would have been like what analogous to Sony and what Microsoft are doing. It's like, whoa, I know they're not coming for another 2 years, but we got these cool trailers for these like, huge games, like next 3D Mario and the next 3D Zelda. Like, I think if you threw in like a 3D Metroid into that mix, or the next like if console Pokemon, like if they'd showed off that like 2019 Pokemon at E3 2016 or even last year's E3, that like putting those three together would have been like, yo, it's totally cool to show those off. They're coming out 2-3 years later. That's acceptable.
I mean, they showed Breath of the Wild many, many years before we finally played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but that was because it was supposed to be a Wii U game, was supposed to come out sooner, and then it basically got Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it got Twilight Princess for sure.
It could have come out sooner probably, but knowing that it was probably going to get cross-released on Switch, they're like, let's just take our time.
It was the right call.
Let's do that.
Nintendo's smart, dude, and they're smarter than we think. Like Reggie even says, like, yo, we have these games like Mario, Zelda. He always comes back to that, like, software pushes hardware. We've heard him say it a million times, and he's 100% right. Like, all Nintendo needs to do is show a Mario, a Zelda, a Smash, a Metroid down the line. Like, as long as they have one of those games a year, they're fine, and they're in a position of power, and we will continue to desire them, their systems, and their games. Like, just Smash alone. I know there's some, like, a little bit of backlash on how much of the Direct was spent on Smash, but that game's coming around at Christmas time. If you own a Switch, you're probably getting Smash.
Yeah, let's go with that real quick.
Okay, I'd love to talk about it. Yeah,
that's our next question from Megan.
Okay,
with Nintendo saying it was going to be a Smash-focused E3 Direct this year, and people were still disappointed by the lack of some games, including myself, Megan. Do you think Nintendo should have been more clear with its messaging ahead of time? Do you think we are just expecting too much from them? Last year, they released 2 big heavy hitters, and this year, they are as well with Pokemon and Smash. If you count Pokemon Let's Go a heavy hitter.
We should be able to count that as a heavy hitter.
Do you think they could have done much else if the games aren't just ready to show yet?
Yeah, so I think it's funny that leading up to it, the messaging was we're mostly focusing on 2018 games. When they did bring in Ex Machina and Fire Emblem, it's like it's another dumb lie. You know what I mean? Like those are more 2019 games. So yeah, I almost agree. I think, hey, this is mostly going to focus on Smash, and I think they kind of did that. They hinted at that. It'd be cool to just outright say this is going to be 35 minutes of Smash Bros. Yeah. I don't know how much it was actually of Smash Bros.
It was like 20 plus for sure.
Yeah, I think if they just say that it's going to be this much Smash Bros, we have one game announcement. You know what I mean? Like almost in a weird like Game Awards-y way, just like outright saying ahead of time, this is how many announcements we have. Yeah. Isn't too bad of an idea. I think it would get people less excited, and you have to worry about getting fewer viewers.
So I don't know if this is asking a question later. It might be, but I want to bring it up now. Because I'm thinking, as you're talking about, I'm thinking about this. The focus on just like one game that Nintendo's doing. So they just focus on Smash this year.
Yeah.
I think the problem we're finally running into is that if you're not into that one game they're revealing, that's pretty much like it for this either. Okay, there were a few smaller announcements, but in terms of you're looking for that big spectacle, that big like huge game, and it's Smash Brothers, like okay, I recognize it's a big game, but that's not speaking to me. And then you look, oh, that's it. Well, where you couldn't at least do 2 games? Like you could have shown me just a little bit of Metroid or Star Fox or whatever, even though they're not coming out next year. I think that's part of like it's a gamble with doing that big focus on that. Whereas you look at Sony and Microsoft, like it's usually like they don't have anything like Ghost of Tsushima. They didn't have anything like Sony, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2. It's like all right, just go with those 2 right there. You already have 2 games, 2 drastically different games. They're speaking. Then you throw in Death Stranding. It's like, oh, okay, like you have 3 games there that like cover, and then like you have look at that lineup, like that's speaking to a lot of different people, and I think that's where in the past it worked because Zelda and Mario are a little bit more universal, whereas Smash Brothers, while it's mega popular and it seems universal. I think that is one of the safest, most known quantities of Nintendo's like IPs. How radically different is a new Smash ever going to be? And everyone's like, "Oh, that's really nice details," but it's not the wow factor's just not there.
I think wow factor is the right thing because Zelda is full of wow factor. Mario is full of wow factor. You could watch 8 different people on their demo playthroughs and find new things in each of those
I
playthroughs.
loved hearing you guys talk about that.
But yeah, and Smash was kind of just like, once we've seen Ridley's moves, once we've seen the Inklings moves, practically nothing new, right? Like, and so I think Huber's right. I think this will be one of the best-selling Smash games ever. I think everybody's going to want it. Everybody's going to want to be playing it, but it doesn't show up big at E3 because we're not watching it with our hands on our face, being amazed at every new thing that pops up.
Business as usual in a sense, to
Yeah.
be reductive about it. But Nintendo, for me, for the last decade and for the foreseeable future, will always be about quality over quantity. I don't expect to play a ton of games on a Nintendo system. I was on Frame Trap recently, and I was talking about how I just don't use the handheld mode for Switch because I'm either at home gaming on the TV or I'm not gaming at all. I just game at home, so I a lot of the function is gone. So I'm just in a position where I anticipate a couple big hitters every year, and that's enough. It's just a little scary after Mario and Zelda come out because we know we're not going to get those for a while. But we're still getting things like Octopath and now Smash. And Smash is great because it's a game that lasts, Like online, multiplayer, co-op, local, what have you. Smash is a game that can last and bridge that gap until the next must-have Switch title for me.
I'll tell you a thing about Smash Bros, and this kind of ties into the E3 presentation. The thing that was most exciting to me is you start with 8 characters and you unlock the rest.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
I think I'm going to have fun playing the game, more fun than most of the other Smash games.
Just unlocking everyone.
That's what I really like about Melee is going through the weird modes, unlocking characters. Yeah. It's fun. It's actually fun to play it. It is not strictly a multiplayer game.
Challenger
Yes.
approaches. Waluigi. Secret
good
final
stuff.
boss.
No, okay.
It's gonna happen, guys. Please,
But
remember this moment, allies. It's gonna happen.
When we
Look at their faces. Screenshot this when Waluigi shows up.
Huber's clipping out those LA Dodger reports from 2 months ago.
but like Huber, when we talk about Smash Bros being their big game of the year and like showing big up big at E3. I think the demonstration they had was really cool for hardcore fans.
Yeah.
I think when we like this, probably if it's not the best selling Smash, it'll sell crazy. I think most of those people don't care about that presentation.
Yeah, because exactly. Who is it appeasing to? Because the hardcore people are saying, okay, everyone's back, everyone's in it. Okay, we see a little bit of the nuance, but we don't get our hands on it. We just want to play it and feel it for ourselves. And then if you've never played Smash, you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Why is this important? Why are you showing me this? Like, when we see Mortal Kombat, we see some sick martial artists and decapitations.
It won't be like, here's what's new about Scorpion this time.
Yeah.
Scorpion's get over here move has 2 extra feet. Like, it won't be that. It won't be like that, you know?
I mean, it was well edited, but essentially, I was making a joke, and a lot of people were making a joke, that it was glorified patch notes.
Yeah.
It was like a glorified patch notes
That's
presentation. Fair. They did their best to dress it up, but at the end of the day, that's ultimately what it was. Whether it's true or not, whether this was just PR speak, I forget if it was Bill Trinan who said it recently or at E3. He said that was what we saw was just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm hoping for those modes, dude. Yeah.
Like we haven't talked about the modes. We haven't talked about like any of this other stuff yet.
But at E3, you got to bring the iceberg,
and that's
baby.
I was like, why was that the focus of E3?
Yeah.
Those balance change stuff could have been a Smash Direct. That didn't need to be the focus of E3. It's a little strange
because they didn't have anything else, guys.
I think they do, Huber. I think there's some crazy modes in there. I think Sakurai.
No, I mean games.
Oh, games
That's why
wise.
they showed so much
yes.
Smash.
Oh no, but like they could have talked about like here's the new adventure mode, and this is what you'd be. That'd be like way more exciting than anything they showed off of that.
I think Sakurai loves surprises so much, Damiani. He wanted to save it, and I think it was probably his call. Even I think he has that kind of control. He's like, don't show the adventure mode yet. I'm like, please let us show it. Let's show anything. We're gonna lose E3. He's like, no. Just show my characters.
I think that makes sense. I want to also give a shout out to several people wrote in about like what we just talked about. And like the next question I had was actually from Beating Down Brian, who literally asked what we just answered and stuff. So I think we covered that aspect of Smash plenty.
Good foresight, Beating Down Brian.
Quick question, guys: is Nintendo giving you enough right now? Are you guys satiated?
Oh, weird question.
Are your bellies full right now, or are you still hungry?
I mean, as of now, up to now through this year. I guess the mileage may vary based on like your interest in a lot of the ports that came out. At the very beginning of the year with like Bayonetta, I was happy Bayonetta came out, but I've already played those games enough, and I didn't really seek to want to play them again. But with like Donkey Kong and now Mario Tennis Aces, and then Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which let me play the 3DS stuff on my console, I think those three were enough for like the last few months. And obviously at the end of the year, Smash will be good. But for me right now, there is a bit of a gap. For the first time in a long time, it's like there's Octopath. I recognize Captain Toad and Octopath are coming out next month, so that is a filler there. That's for people. Captain Toad, like I've already played that game to death. I'll enjoy playing it again. That's not gonna really do it for me. And
but you're kind of hungry.
I'm not sold on Octopath. And then beyond that, I know you'll have a great time, and we'll have a great time playing here with Super Mario Party. But on my own, I'm not going to be really that invested in that game. So I think it's more just there's some releases coming out that aren't speaking to me. Where if they had some more third-party support, I haven't really. I'm forgetting like any of the big indie titles that might be coming out between now and the end of the year as well. But like, yeah, that's the thing.
Undertale?
Sorry?
Undertale? Do they have a release date on that yet?
Newer, because I already played Undertale,
Sure.
so that also won't do it. Hollow Knight already just got shadow dropped, so that came out, which was great.
Maybe was King Knight? Do you think King Knight will be out by the end of the year?
I don't know.
I've heard of that one.
Super Meat Boy
that's
Forever,
Shovel Knight,
right?
the final Shovel Knight expansion.
Oh,
That
nice.
I think that will be. Yeah, I think that will be.
I feel so bad. They're working so hard on that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can relate.
So you're hungry, Kyle?
Yeah. So the argument I want to make is when the 3DS launched in its first 1 to 3 years, some weird new stuff popped up, and we have no weird new stuff. Maybe besides 1-2 Switch on the Switch. There's a huge lack of weird new ideas from Nintendo on the Switch, and it's bizarre. We've only been talking about pre-established franchises. ARMS is a new franchise.
Sushido or Way of the Sushido.
Sushi Striker.
Yeah, Sushi Striker. Way of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Sushido.
That's a 3DS game too. That's a 3D. That was developed as a 3DS game. Let's up-res it and put it on Switch. So it's so weird.
Do you count Labo?
I would count Labo. Absolutely. Well, no, I think that's more for children. Okay, a lot of Nintendo games are for children, but I consider it a wholly different product. Though, are we talking about that this week?
What?
Labo being integrated in Nintendo games?
We're skipping over that.
All right. Well, I guess I might be forced to count it soon, Huber. I like. Do you remember like Sakura Samurai? Do you remember that game? You're just like a wandering samurai fighting kappas. There was just like just so many just even like the Mii games. The Mii games were weird. They were just fun, weird games like Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. Just like bizarre ideas you've never even would ever think of.
I guess they also don't have like not just those, but going along with you just said, Kyle, like they're not even doing like a NES remix style game. Like where's SNES remix or N64 remix or
buy the classic consoles, man.
Yeah, sure, that stuff. There are plenty of things they've done that they could probably easily fill in the gaps, but they're just not there.
Yep.
And we're wondering like where they are, like when are they coming, like what's the holdup? If they could definitely use like probably another game or two. In the remaining 6 months, I think they could use another game or two, even if they're smaller oddball games.
Yeah, I'd love
they could use
oddball.
some of that.
Maybe they just don't show them at E3. Maybe they will still pop up.
Yeah, there's always. People are expecting an Indies Direct now, sometime in July.
Sure.
It's like the next thing, so that could be it. They usually do drop something around Comic-Con, whether it's the N64 Classic will finally get announced there, or if some other thing will happen. I expect within the next month or two, some other Direct will happen that will like tease a few upcoming stuff that we're not like these odd games that we're talking about.
Bring them on.
That just missed out on E3.
That's what I'm hungry for, though.
Nice.
I want a little weirdo.
I hope Super Mario Party gets weird.
Might get weird.
Get weird.
It's got the connecting stuff.
Yeah.
Consoles, right? It's got a good start there.
Yeah, you know what? Like this weird like flash forward and Mario's got a beard. Like let's see Mario with a beard in Super Mario Party.
Beard and Mario.
Like one of the tables just like and then they're frozen for 50
Old
years.
Mario.
Yeah.
Future map.
Yes. Give me that future map with
Future
bearded Mario.
like,
Get weird.
You go to Donk
Cyborg
City, it's all in like
Bowser.
rubble.
Yes. That's what I desire. That is what I hunger for.
That would be pretty cool.
Love it.
There is one game that is coming out between now and then, end of the year, that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
Next question comes from Jared.
Hi, Jared.
Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Following E3, as well as news that Monster Hunter World can't be done on the Switch.
Yeah. This is new. This is very topical.
I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the Switch as it pertains to attracting third parties.
Yeah. Let's get into
The
it.
Switch doesn't have the big marquee titles from third parties coming day and date, and as high as the install base is for the Switch, why aren't we seeing more titles, even big-name ports coming to the system? I personally didn't mind the shortcomings of the Switch graphically, as it's a portable console as well, but I'm worried it's falling almost too far behind. It doesn't seem like it's worth it for many third parties to bring over bigger titles to the Switch, or that Switch simply can't handle it. Either way, this seems like an issue to me, especially with its very light first-party offering for the rest of 2018. Does the Switch have a potential problem with third parties due to its hardware limitations? Would love your thoughts. Love and respect, Jared from KC.
Jared, it is not a potential problem. It's a problem. It is officially a problem. And the way he led in there with talking about Monster Hunter is great. Because Capcom says, yeah, we'll just keep making Switch-specific Monster Hunter games. That should be, I'm not going to say a red flag, but the signal. That's the signal that, hey, this is going to go very similarly to how it went with the Wii U and went with the Wii. They're just not going to work. And so, I mean, Wii U even had some Call of Duty games. I can't remember which. I think I played like Black Ops 2 on it or something. But I don't see. Maybe the rumors of the Battle Royale mode going to Switch, maybe that kind of thing will be true. But yeah, I just think that, like, let's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. It won't be on Switch. It just won't happen.
No chance.
And that's one of the biggest third-party games. I mean, Call of Duty is as well. I think that for a company like Rockstar, they could obviously make money on Switch. They could obviously make a Switch version of GTA 5 and make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they just don't want their games to look like that.
Because they put LA Noire on there.
Yeah.
And it looked okay. It looked good.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's
different.
the same. Yeah, it's not quite the same as trying to put GTA 5 on there.
Totally.
I mean, I think...
Especially with online, too. They would feel like half-baked if you're like, hey, GTA 5, but no online.
Yeah.
I think we have now hit a point where it should be, as you said, Kyle, it should be apparently clear that while third parties might want to support Nintendo Switch where possible with possible ports, they're either going to have to make... So a lot of their games are just not going to be either possible to bring to Switch or be such a significant downgrade they just don't want to do it, which I think is probably why you will not see GTA 5 on Switch. So Rockstar does not want it to look that bad on running on Switch. But I mean, this is now, but the line has been drawn.
Which is crazy because it runs on PS3 and 360. It does, you know? I think they just don't want to downgrade it from what it looks like now on current gen.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but like at this point, everyone's made it clear. I think everyone's making it clear. I mean, Bethesda's the one that's still trying, it seems.
Yeah.
But everyone else
Wolfenstein 2 coming up.
And a handful of other examples, but it's basically now, no. You get like, they're trying in Japan the streaming service, cloud streaming for Resident Evil 7 on Switch. See how that goes. And I heard from people who played it, it's not a good experience.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Working
a good
out the
experience.
kinks, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see when it happens.
Monster Hunter World is a little bit more ambiguous because everyone's urban inclusion. It's not graphically feasible. There's some people debating whether it's contractually an issue because Sony has console exclusivity and that's also preventing it. So it might just be a 1-2 combo of like, we couldn't do it if we wanted to because Sony said, like, contractually says no, but also like graphically can't do it.
Which is so weird because it's on Xbox, but they had to specifically say no Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of feasible because Monster Hunter had been associated with Nintendo for so long up till that point.
Let's also point out, like, at E3, Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'm taking someone else's question later down the line. Now it's coming to Switch. Finally confirmed coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Just like shoved under a montage, basically, given like no like spotlight. Essentially, like Nintendo like treats it like, oh, it's just another like little like bullet point. Mm-hmm. Not like, oh, that was a game that everyone wanted to see come out on Switch. And graphically, I didn't see anything that really could have been done on that could have been done on Switch with that game, with that fighting game. But let's just name a few big games that there's just no chance they're coming to Switch.
Battlefield.
And this, like, yeah, you got Battlefield 5.
Assassin's Creed.
Origins, definitely not. It's not Origins. Odyssey, definitely not coming to Switch.
Black Ops.
Kingdom Hearts 3, definitely not coming to Switch.
Fallout 76.
Not coming to Switch. Devil May Cry 5, that's not coming to Switch.
Resident Evil Remake 2.
That's definitely not coming to Switch. just like these big upcoming third party, like Cyberpunk, absolutely not coming to Switch.
Yeah.
We could keep going here for big multi-platform titles that you just will not see a version on Switch. And while Capcom's saying, hey, because Switch is selling so well, we do need a Monster on there. Generations Ultimate's our first like olive branch, but we're also going to develop original Monster games for it. You know they will be separate from the big multi-platform. Like, the version that comes out on Switch probably isn't coming out. Like, the one they make for Switch is probably going to be a Switch exclusive. That's not going on their consoles because the other consoles get like Monster Hunter World 2, which looks
they will, obviously,
fabulous and stuff. And you're going to see that again. And this is the problem. It happens every generation. There's a small window where we think there's hope. Mm-hmm. Oh, certain people are saying it's like Bethesda was our hope. I'm pretty sure that Bethesda support's going to end after this year. I think after Wolfenstein's 2.
Well, Ubisoft is bringing Trials. That's nice.
That's Trials.
But it's not Assassin's Creed like we just said.
But you're not getting Assassin's Creed. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not going to come to Switch.
You'll get Starlink.
Yeah.
Starlink.
You got Starlink.
The best version of
Starlink.
Starlink.
Best version of
Star
Starlink.
Fox in it. But... yeah, like I think the window's going to be closing by the end of this year, especially by the next E3, which is to be like, stop expecting any of the big AAA third-party games to come out on Switch, and that is the reality now, and it kind of stinks a little bit.
That's the question, because for the last so long, like Nintendo has always been frosting on my cupcake, my Sony cupcake. Where I'm just like devouring all these games, but then of course Nintendo will come out with 10 out of 10 games like Mario and Zelda and so on, and first parties.
Yep.
Is that enough? Is that enough for you guys? Because it's enough for me. Treating the Nintendo as a supplemental system to your gaming life. It's in addition to everything else. Then you have the Nintendo first parties.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing we have not said is the word Fortnite. The biggest game is still there, and so Huber, I think you're right. I think it's enough for what the product is. They made that call when they said we want it to be a handheld thing you plug into your TV. Mm-hmm. Like they signed off. They took that sacrifice. They took that hit, and so far it is still paying off for them. I think they'll have to upgrade before, years-wise. I think it has a shorter lifespan because of that. But I think that it's hard to say they made the wrong call.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that they made a bad call with this.
Yeah.
It's just this is the reality.
Right.
And there will be some people out there who, for whatever reason, again, this keeps happening again and again. Since we've been going, like, I've been going through, not me personally, but the person saying this, I've been going through this. Where are my big third-party games? Where are my, like, the big third-party games that are going on every console? Before Wii's generation, it was this console exclusivity. Oh, PS2's got this locked up. Like, it's not that GameCube could run this. Just Sony signed the they paid the money. They signed the papers and the contracts locked up. But some of the games, like, look better on GameCube. Like, there was close to the parity. I mean, don't need to get into, like, that paid off for Nintendo or something. I think there's some people want to see this, like, they have this weird, maybe not weird, but this dream expectation that one day Nintendo will not only achieve the success it does with its strategy for, like, what it did with Wii, with DS and 3DS, and now Switch, but also it's going to have, like, the huge games on it too. Like, they want the best of both. They want Switch to be, like, dominating hardware sales with these great exclusives that sell well and look great, but also getting, like, the GTAs, the Resident Evils, the Final Fantasies, the whatever CD Projekt Red's working on at the time. Like, they want those games, like Tomb Raider. They want that on there,
Sekiro,
looking like at near parity with its contemporaries. And I just don't know if that's a route Nintendo can ever go again.
Is that okay with you guys? Are you okay if Nintendo from here on out was like, yo?
I mean, that's a big question.
What if it was like, what if they were just like, hey, no third parties ever again?
No, they'll never say that.
I'm obviously going the extreme route.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden it was that extreme and it was just a Nintendo machine, would you guys be okay?
I'd still buy it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still get your Marios and your Zeldas.
I mean, I would, but, like, I'd be a little not just annoyed, but worried. Like, to me, when the third-party content completely dried up on Nintendo, it's almost the point where, like, the serious talks of, like, why even doing this anymore? Like, why make consoles? Like, if you're just you don't have any much support, might be in your best interest to go multi-platform. Still make your handhelds like, oh, you can play like your games, they run best on Switch Mobile or something, but like put them on PC. I don't know. At that point, I would seriously like I wouldn't call you crazy if you're calling him out, like calling Nintendo out for no longer. Why are you still first party exclusive? Why do you not release your games multi-platform? That seems like a very risky proposition to not have any third party support anymore. Because like the counter to this is that while Nintendo's not getting these huge AAA, they are getting huge indie support. These indie games are selling the best. Even older indie games is getting re-released on Switch. That is this system's strength.
Yeah.
But those games also speak more to the mobile experience and the handheld experience, I think. So I want to counter by saying like they are getting fulfillment if you're into those smaller or like more like lower scaled titles like that.
Games.
But there is a definite absence of the AAA third-party experience on Switch. I think you just need to know that going in. And I think that would help people rather than, like, because I think it's dying down more. You still see calls for it, but it's not as bad as a generation or 2 generation ago where, like, oh, where's the third party? Like, where are they?
Sure.
I think the reality is starting to become more accepted for Nintendo fans. This is just their strategy. This is what they go for. This is how they succeed. And it's a nice treat every now and then if you do get a port of a certain big game, but I do hope like the Capcom making the exclusive Monster Hunter for Switch or the new Monster Hunter Switch games, I would like to see more of that. That would be a great in between, like
Ubisoft making Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids.
Instead of the AAA, it's like the old B tier like exist again. And it's found its place on Switch. Square Enix made a studio or groups of people to develop these types of games just for Switch as well.
See some Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, like this. I think
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
years
yes.
coming, you will see more of those types of games being announced for Switch. And
That's a dream right there.
Yeah, and I think that is the sweet spot that Nintendo should be aiming for, and what the realistic expectations should be set for that system.
Beautifully said, Damiani. Beautiful.
I'd say pragmatic. I don't know if it was beautiful language.
Tweet that to Reggie.
Yeah, not very poetic.
I want that strategy.
Let's talk about the stuff that was there.
Okay.
The games that were announced and how we felt they did with that. Here we go, Huber.
Okay.
From Snow Cone Guy, Super Mario Party will have some online functionality.
Leaderboards.
However, this will only apply to playing some mini games, but not actual board game matches.
Leaderboards for sure.
As a longtime fan of the series, who is no longer at the age where it is easy to gather 4 people for local multiplayer, this is disappointing to me. What are the reasons for this decision, in your opinion, and will we ever see full online matches for Mario Party again?
I mean, Mario Party is already the most hostile gaming experience in the biz.
Yep.
So playing against strangers online, they probably just didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
A lot of DCs.
I agree.
A lot of DCs, a lot of people pulling the plug.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're committing to an hour-long game, like 25 turns, whatever. Gets down to the end, someone pulls the plug. That would be very frustrating.
Yeah, I've seen the argument, like, what if it's just friendlies? What if it's just people you already know?
Friends list?
I still think it'd get rotten. I think without the human-to-human interaction, without being able to read other people's expressions, you will hate your friends online. I think, like, Mario Party is very particular in that manner. I think it's crazy there's even, like, the mini-games you can play online. Those are going to get rotten, too.
Can you play them against people online?
A group of mini-games you can play with people online.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's like 5. I think it's like 5 mini-games you can play online.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there probably are people who can play online with their group of friends and not reach that point of that like level of toxicity.
I don't think so.
Mario Party,
I don't think that
so.
group of friends exists.
Yeah.
There are no 4 people who are that chill.
Or at least there are a group of people who they know that's going to happen, and they go with that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And while people are going to get salty, they know they won't just like rage quit and say bye-bye.
Sure.
They'll probably say some mean things. They'll probably get angry, but they will finish they'll finish the game. They'll play it to the end. And at the end, you'll all like laugh about like, oh man, that was intense. Like we should do this again or something. I do see there are some people who that might be their only avenue. They can't. Their friends are spread out across the country. You know, they're older, you're married and stuff. They've gone their separate ways, but they still keep in touch online. And they're like, dude, we love Mario Party. Remember when we used to play Mario Party and stuff together? Let's get that match going. It's
Don't
like,
do it.
Now
That
they
Call
can't.
of Duty commercial.
Now they can't do it. So I mean, I don't see it. I get why maybe they don't want it to be like just random strangers. But I do feel at least allowing friends list people to do it. There's nothing with stopping them technically from doing that. Like it's not that it's doable for Nintendo even to have online Mario Party.
I just can't recommend it.
I mean, even if you don't recommend it, they should just have the option for friends list matches only.
They should not have the option. I disagree.
I don't think they should. No strangers allowed. Like that. No random matchmaking. Just friends only. And you know, maybe they do a cooldown. Like you play with that friend, it's like you can't play with them for another week. Chill out mode.
Now we're talking.
Now it's like chill out.
Now we're talking.
Weird ideas.
Yeah, chill out period. I'm cool with that.
Zany ideas and stuff like one match
Yes.
a week, and they can even do it where it can be asynchronous, where even if you're not both online, you make your move and stuff, and then it like pings the other player, and it's like. You just gotta wait
Like
for
Words
them.
with Friends.
Yeah, you just gotta wait for them to make their move and stuff. So like you can go offline and stuff. Go like come back the next day. And it's like, oh, it's like long distance chess. They gotta mail you.
Damiani,
your
that's
move and stuff.
genius.
No, that's the portion of Mario Party that goes the fastest, and then like it's back into the mini games.
I mean,
I think like people play board games like that online. You know, they're like simulated board games. Mario Party is not a board game. You know, it's a mini game, and the board game is the reason to care about the mini
they
games.
could do a mode where it acts as the mini games, like a truncated like version where it's more just literally about the roll of the dice. It's RNG completely. There's no skill based mini game part of it. So it is essentially like, oh, I went into space and go back 3 and stuff
That's
like
the
that.
worst part of Mario Party.
I don't know. Some people might want to just like do that match for fun.
All right.
I'm just happy the car is gone.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
Like
Yes.
I love Mario Party 1 through 3. There was a good GameCube one. I always forget which one.
5.
5 is good. Other than that, though, this franchise has burned me so many times. So many times I get excited about a new Mario Party, only to be burned. But this one feels different. This one feels like a winner.
I have a question. Do y'all have to hold Joy-Cons sideways? Is that how this is controlled? Everybody's got Joy-Cons, or can you... I guess it has to be that, right? Because you can't use the Pro. I feel like read you cannot use the Switch Pro controller on this. And so then
Unfair
I wonder...
advantage.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming that everybody's just like
yeah.
got a little dinky boy sideways, and then you're using motion controls when required.
Yeah, what was the other game we had to play that way with like multiple controllers around the launch?
Snipper clips?
No, Bomberman.
Oh, yep.
Bomberman R.
Yeah.
We had to do that. I think it'll be the same thing, yeah.
So I got to buy 2 extra little Joy-Cons to even like play this? I mean, I guess the assumption is
everyone brings their Switch.
Everybody brings their own.
Because 2 of them can connect to each other, do the weird things. So you have 4 right there.
Yep.
And then 2 people bring their extra ones.
Okay.
To be fair to his question, like, I
Yeah.
get it, not being able to play online. Like, that's, like, if I lived alone or something, or lived away from you guys, like, who would I play Mario Party with? That would suck. I really
don't.
want to play this new one.
You don't.
You don't play it.
Yeah,
it's for
you
the
gotta
best.
give it up.
It is probably for the best.
It's for the best.
Yeah.
For the best. All right.
It will destroy Easy Allies for
There you go.
when it comes out.
Yeah.
That is our advice to you. You should definitely not be playing it online even with friends.
Just avoid
it at all costs. The next question, actually, we already addressed from Kerbu. So thank you for that question. It's about like the excitement over like what wasn't announced about Smash, like modes and stuff like that.
Good foresight.
We already
Story mode.
Yeah, we dipped into that a little bit. But
I want to go through Mushroom Kingdom again.
So wait, seriously though,
Yeah.
Waluigi aside,
Yeah.
don't you think there will be secret characters that are not announced prior to the release of this game that you will be able to unlock?
I almost think
no, all the characters will be announced before.
Traditionally, yes. Traditionally, like there's one, right?
There's got to be one.
I don't think so in this case.
I don't think so either. And I think the only ones this be DLC characters, if anything, will be like the big thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
All right.
I expect maybe 3 more additions to the roster in addition to Ridley and Inkling.
Leading up to release.
Actually, that's 2. So I thought I personally thought they would only had like 4 new characters total.
Well, didn't Jones say they showed 2 extra amiibo that were like mystery amiibo? They're like, and 2 more are coming.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me to believe there are 2 more characters that will be announced at launch.
Ocelot.
Revolver Ocelot. Put him in.
Revolver.
Is what's funny
Ocelot.
is like I can't hear anyone who's disappointed in the roster. I simply won't hear it.
I won't hear it.
Like, there's no reason after what they've done, this accomplishment.
Everyone.
There's no reason. Like, I can't hear your plates.
You got Snake back.
Yeah.
After all the weird, like, will that be okay and stuff.
David
like,
Hayter is
made it
back.
work,
Yeah,
and
come
David
on.
Hayter's voice.
Yeah.
And you got Sonic. You got Pac-Man. You got Mega Man.
You got
like
Pichu. I won't hear it.
You got like the
Everyone.
biggest Japanese third-party companies represented. Like in this
Yeah.
game, Cloud from Square Enix. It's
Yeah.
like, come
Bayonetta.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
All of them.
You
I
got,
can't hear
you
it.
got everything. Like, people like, oh, let's see, like, Sora and stuff. That would have been a dream, but, like, come on. You got plenty in there.
Yeah.
And I think there's at least 2 more in that we give yet to see.
Besides Goku. Yeah, there's probably 2 more.
Besides,
Yep. Goku's in.
Besides,
Yep.
Goku, yeah, I was imagining how that would play out. It's like Cloud's charging up. You got to charge up, like, your ki to go, like, Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan 2, and, like, Super Saiyan. I was like, it's got to be, like, his movesets change and maybe, like, damage output. But, like, it burns your ki faster each higher Saiyan mode you go.
Yeah.
So it's a shorter duration.
And I think
then
you get
have a
higher knockback.
I don't know if you get higher knockback. I think the recovery puts like your moves get like seriously weakened when you go back to normal state.
Okay.
So like you're like you do almost like no damage and you're super vulnerable. Like you take more damage because like it's got to build up back to like just normal state.
Sure.
And then you can try and build up like super. And then like final smash would be like
Spirit Bomb. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean Spirit Bomb. It's gotta be.
Final Smash is Vegeta's like, I'll take care of this.
Wipes out the map.
It's fusion. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
They come together. They do fusion attack. Yeah.
So yeah, the Final Smash is like Goku falls to the floor and goes, Vegeta, I need you. And then Vegeta's like right there. It's like, Kakarot, okay. It's just like Vegeta's been like, the camera spins around. Vegeta's been watching the whole time. And it's like, okay,
And
fine.
they
And then
need
they
to do the
fuse.
fusion.
Yeah.
Fusion. Ha!
Yes. So look forward to that
Look
by
forward to that.
by this fall,
All right.
by this December.
Smash is the ultimate dream.
Yeah.
You just dream about
So,
that game.
like, we're talking a little bit about the roster. So, I think Kyle kind of gave his opinion on this, but user RAR asks, what are your thoughts on the approach to Smash Ultimate?
Okay. I actually would like to talk about this too.
Is it a good thing that the main focus will be on bringing back all of the past characters with minimal new additions? According to Sakurai, anyway. I think it's great, and I'm constantly impressed by the effort put into these games, but a little part of me still looks forward to new character reveals in every Smash. I also think Dixie Kong would be awesome. Any thoughts? Love and respect, Robert.
New characters are still coming, and I'm all about refinement. You know, just playing a little bit of Smash, the 4 matches that I was able to play at E3, it felt familiar but refined. It just felt good to move around and jump and punch people as Donkey Kong and eat people as Bowser. Like, it just felt so good to play. I can understand, a lot of the excitement is on the new characters, so it's like, everyone's back is the most hype, exciting thing, but it's something new. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that is a weird, tricky balance. But I think Damiani was right with leading up to the release, a couple new characters. I really think there's going to be at least one hidden character in the game not announced. So I think there's going to be new characters. And again, it's all about the refinement. So I think that's exciting. That it will probably be the best Smash mechanically. I know there's all debates about that, but
the Smash of my dreams was back down to 8 characters. The Smash of my dreams was like, let's refine in that manner. Like, let's scale back and rethink everything. I realized that wasn't practical. I think they made the right call. They made the call where, like, nobody on Twitter can complain. Obviously, I still complain, which is so annoying. But it's the less creative option to just say everybody's back. But it took so much work. I'm positive the way they rethought every character and balancing everybody and their stupid final smashes and everything.
because there's a lot new. Like, I just used a Snake Stinger missile. That thing's faster. There's changes with every single character.
Yeah, thought was put in.
One in
every
Undertale.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah, just for like the debate about this, because you mentioned people still disappointed on Twitter, Kyle.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it circles around like where this game is new, remake, like port, all that like BS as well,
Yeah.
and like not new characters. The competitive Smash player Zero, who won the Invitational.
Yeah.
And also like probably the best Smash 4 player.
Retired. Retired
even
from
though
Smash 4.
retired,
He's retired from
but
Smash 4.
Definitely someone who could speak to how similar these two games are, Smash for Wii U and Ultimate.
Yeah.
Did a video breakdown basically of all the time
Oh,
he spent
cool.
with Ultimate and said like, in my opinion, these are drastically different games.
Cool.
Wow.
Like they're just on mechanical, like visually they might look similar, but like mechanically, very different games. And I think like, while that's not visually, it wasn't as exciting to see all this stuff, which goes to my argument, like how exciting can Smash be unless you radically change how it looks and radically change the fundamentals of it to it's not even Smash anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's just like one of the safest games they can make and unveil. But I think like once people play it, they're gonna see mechanically. I think what they're going for is a game to surpass Melee, in terms of like reception from like the fighting game community, but also longevity. I think the biggest piece of this puzzle we've yet to see is how I will not be surprised if this game is supported for like many years.
Yes.
Just by the
Yep.
title, like I
100%.
think this is gonna be the last Smash for like at least 5 years.
I would love that. I'd
And
love
they're just
10
gonna
years.
I want them
They're going
to-
to continuously update this because you have all the characters. Just keep adding new stages and characters to this, and it's like it's the definitive.
I want
Smash.
them to take a look at Fortnite. You know, battle passes
Yep.
are hot right now.
Yep.
There's got to be a way to make seasons interesting
Mm-hmm.
and get people. You know, season like
Yeah, dude.
there's got to be a way to keep that level of engagement.
So like Mario's getting his wedding costume.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be opposed to us not getting that automatically, but having to earn that thing.
Earn it in the
That's-
season, like a
that-
battle
yeah,
pass.
that's
Make
what
it meaningful.
That's
you
exactly
know?
what Mario Tennis Aces is doing. There's 3 characters you currently cannot select in the game, but if you go hover over them, it says will be unlocked by participating in the July 2018 tournament for the first one.
What?
The
Love
next
it.
one says August 2018 tournament, and the one after that says September 2018.
go.
So by participating in the online tournaments each month, you unlock a new character in Mario Tennis Aces.
What are the characters? Who are they?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, there's stuff out there, but
Yeah, you know what? I mean, because the roster is already so huge, because there are so many costumes, it doesn't feel like they're keeping anything away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like they're adding and adding and adding and adding, and when they like didn't need to, you don't need to have that much. And so that's why I don't think I'd be opposed to them keeping some stuff back, kind of in that same manner. Just
costumes, dude.
Yeah.
It's such just everyone wins with that.
Yeah.
Nintendo gets paid. Fans get hyped.
Yeah.
Like imagine how many Cloud costumes you can have, or Mario, like Mario, shirtless Mario and spitting everywhere.
Yep.
Shirtless Mario and swim trunks. You
Yes.
know, like Mario tennis costume, Mario golf costume.
and I
the
realize
wedding.
I can hear people shouting at us right now, like those should be free, those should be free. And go
or you
ahead.
can earn them, or
Yeah.
you know, a way to earn them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the battle pass.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
the battle pass is $10.
Got it. And then you earn
Then-
it on top of that.
Then you can earn you even earn money back, so
Cool.
you get some money back on your investment,
Yeah, I mean, I'd honestly I'd be cool with that for Smash Bros.
think-
If it would mean it could live 10 years.
I
or
think-
something in that vein
years.
of just being able to unlock things on a seasonal basis
They
that
will-
go in the vault. You know, it
Yeah.
makes them so much more special.
I think at the very least they will go a season pass route where you pay for like the 2019 season pass for Smash. It says you will get all the new characters that come out this year.
Yeah.
But I think they also still piecemeal it like they did with Smash Bros. For Wii U. They did offer both. You could buy like the bundle.
Yeah,
or
they
you
had
could
a
buy
lot of
anything.
bundles, honestly.
Yeah, so I think they're
Yep.
just gonna literally repeat that. But it'd also be nice if there was stuff you could just earn by playing the game. Like you've got to be there. So like Halloween outfits for some of the characters and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Seasonals.
If Nintendo was smart,
Yep.
they would totally go that
yeah,
route.
dude.
And they already, like for Odyssey, they already got a bunch of the costumes from Mario. It's like, oh, here you go. Just start throwing all those in there. Then start making costumes from the other, like,
But like Ganondorf dressed as like Frankenstein's monster or something.
or like,
Yes.
like what they do, like a special tribute, like maybe there's like a seasonal Star Fox event where like when the racing game comes out, you can unlock their outfits from the new game, or you can unlock their classic like SNES like realistic puppet looks or whatever with like their metal boots and stuff like that. Yeah.
Damiani, you're on a roll right now, dude.
I mean-
I was thinking of like explosion effects, but like
No.
stuff like that is like really good.
Yeah,
Even
I-
like taunts and you know.
Oh, taunts!
Unlock
Yes,
taunts.
dude.
Like that stuff has blown the hell up in Fortnite. People
Yep.
just gotta get that popcorn emote. You're just eating popcorn.
And taunts are great in Smash
taunts
Bros.
and spray paints, like all that stuff is so exciting.
Like taunts, everybody sees.
Yeah.
If you're taunting there, you're like, show me your move. Everybody on the map has seen that happen. Oh man.
Didn't which was it? Was it Brawl or was it Wii U that had like the NES trial things built into it? Remember?
That was Wii U.
That was Wii U?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised to see like stuff, like elements of that.
Yeah, it had
you know,
museum.
Virtual console.
So you like get context behind every video game character. You could like play the game they came
If
from.
we're talking
yeah.
about like mini games they still haven't revealed, like there's like they might, the reason why there might not be a new NES remix because they're working some of that stuff into like Smash Brothers, like mini game stuff.
if you're gonna
like,
call it
too crazy,
Ultimate,
like crazy stuff.
you better leave nothing on the cutting room floor.
Like it works.
But what I'm saying is I'm cool with it. I'm cool with like
Yeah.
even that you
Yeah.
gotta unlock. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's already so much that there's little ground to complain that people they're keeping things back from you when you pay $60 for that game.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah,
That's true. Fortnite is free, so that's kind of how they justify it. The $10, you know, because buying the game is free.
Yeah.
But if it's just cosmetics, I'm totally fine with putting in another 10 or whatever it is for a season that lasts like 2.5 months. That's a long time.
Huber, if you bought everything for the Wii U version, I feel
my
like you
God.
spent over $100 because there were so many Mii costumes. I think
don't need
there's
any
over
of
$100
those.
of DLC
Oh, and
for
me
Wii
fighters
U.
are back.
Yeah. I think Wii U honestly had a ton
But
of
it's
DLC.
yeah. I don't think it will. I think they'll strike a balance this time.
Sure.
I
Too much Mii Fighter stuff last
Yeah,
time.
they won't go that direction. Moving on from Smash Brothers,
I just want Smash now.
I know Matt
play
has
it.
a question, a little bit of a crossover question from our shows because he mentions on a recent Frame Trap, the panelists were discussing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Huber said that the thing that would really get him invested in a Pokemon game would be building a relationship with his Pokemon.
Oh.
I couldn't agree more, and
Nice.
for that reason, I am not looking forward to the Let's Go games.
Just say I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
Same old thing, but with less gameplay due to adding Pokemon Go mechanics? Blah.
It's a good read, Damiani.
While the other panelists mentioned things like petting or feeding beans, I thought about this, and what it really needed is the same thing every other game uses to build relationships. Side quest!
Ooh.
Imagine tracking down your Charmander's previously abusive owner, and by the end of the quest, when you catch up to them, it's a Charizard! Obviously, this would only apply to certain specific Pokemon, and only if you took the time to level them. Anyway, what do you guys think? Love and respect, Matt.
Matt, well done.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, genius.
And you know, that'd be a way to appease like hardcore Pokemon players with difficulty, you know? That's what I respected about Ni no Kuni 2 a little bit, Damiani, was the main storyline was easy peasy, but some of those side quests were pretty intense. Some of the optional challenges. So I think if you go that route, you can make, you know, Pokemon the main line is business as usual, but then like some really challenging side stuff.
I think of another thing that to me builds bonds in Pokemon games is a clutch Pokemon who like you're down to your last 5 HP who brings out the win. And so when I played through Crystal recently, that was Wobbuffet. And I loved Wobbuffet. I never liked Wobbuffet, but Wobbuffet was such a clutchmeister that I built this bond that I truly loved that Pokemon. It wasn't exactly. It's like, I don't want to pet you. I don't want to feed you beans. I don't want to like turn around and have you like, whoa, I love you. Like I don't want, that doesn't build bonds to me. But just clutching out a win is what builds bonds. And I actually like, I don't like making Pokemon easier to me. Like that's not appealing because I love those moments. I think that's why people do Nuzlocke runs. Huber, if you don't know what that means, that's like they play the games permadeath. If people play the games, like if your Pokemon is knocked out, it's gone forever. They release it.
Nice.
And so there's like a hardcore meta game that you can play with
like that,
Pokemon.
I like
yeah,
that.
and I think that builds bonds. But
they should just add that mode into the game, a permadeath mode.
they will
Iron Man,
never.
yeah.
They will never. I would love it, but they will never. But I love this idea, of side quests. Like that's the thing is, when you finish a Pokemon story, you know you get to see your Pokemon like spin around you at the end, but you never feel like they were part of the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me build those bonds, dude.
Yep.
I'm all about it.
They were never
Pokemon
really your party
2019.
members. You were the only guy in your party member. Your Pokemon are your weapons.
But how would you do it? Because like, isn't Meowth the only one that talks? Is that
There's a couple other talkers.
other talkers, but how do you build a bond with
Radically
Pokemon that
shift
doesn't
things.
talk?
Dude, it's you gotta like watch the show. So like let's like
just through the
send
human interaction and
or you
all
yeah,
that
like
stuff.
there's parts where like you're like instead of like let's say Pokemon 2019. Oh, it's time to infiltrate Team Rocket's hideout this time, or whatever. It's like, all right, I'm trainer dude. Like okay, I need to go do this, but like we also have to shut down the power and stuff. But like we need to split up. Pikachu, I am trusting you to go like do this and stuff. It's like you like, and they have a relationship. We understand each other, so like you're gonna go do this. So Pikachu's gonna go like now you like can switch between the two characters. Pikachu's route now goes through like a different part of the like base. And you got like you can fight things. You can like stealth maybe between like I want to avoid trainers like that. It's just like unique Pikachu mechanics or whatever Pokemon you pick. You can use one of their abilities to maybe do something like I don't know like. Or use like water to like rise up or something to a higher platform. I don't like something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Or your ghost Pokemon, you could like fade out so you sneak by things, but all of a sudden there's a laser part. Oh, you can't sneak past that. So like, what do you do? Like, oh, a mirror Pokemon who reflects it back. You know, like cool creative stuff like that. Whereas trainer person's like, okay, it's still traditional. I ran into another opposing trainer. All right, I got to duel you with my other Pokemon I've got. So I don't know, like do something like that where the individual, like the 6 Pokemon you have in your party have the opportunities to go do individual like tasks that are separate from just remedial trainer or wild encounter battles. And I think that's where
I got another one. I got another dream.
Okay.
So you know my favorite Pokemon is Farfetch'd, who's basically just a duck who walks around with a leak, right?
Yeah.
So mid-match, mid-game, it's just like Farfetch'd won't listen to you anymore. He's depressed. And so you like have to switch out, but then you take that you're Farfetch'd to like this Pokemon breeder, and you're like, hey, what's wrong with my Farfetch'd? And they're like, well, I don't really know. There's this person on this island who knows a lot about Farfetch'd. You might ask them. So you travel over to that island, and you're like, hey, my Farfetch'd is like acting all sad. And it's like, oh, he wants a bigger leak. So you got to like go to where there's like leaks that all the Farfetch'd go to, and like then there's like this Pokemon. It's like an Arcanine who's got the best leak in his mouth, and then your Farfetch'd is all riled up. It's like, oh, you want that leak? No, let's get a different leak. He's like, no, I want that one. And so then you have to beat that Arcanine, who's like a boss. You can't catch it. It's just an extremely powerful Pokemon. You get it. You get that leak. Your Farfetch'd becomes more powerful. It's like it gets like a boost on attacks. You know what I mean?
You just made that up right now?
Yeah. Like how cool would
That's
something
a
like
10
that
out of
be?
10.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
Like just like your Pokemon care and they want to have their own quests. Like you can do that without dialogue, I think, if it's like you discover things through people who know about this world and stuff like that.
Do you think the spirit of Pokemon would be destroyed if there was a limit to how many you caught? Do you feel like there's just you catch too many, so you can't really focus in on this a few, Kyle?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what Pokemon Go is all about. Is just catch as many as possible. Go ahead, catch them all. And when they say catch them all, it's just like not even catch one of each. Just catch everything. Just catch. And to me, that's against the point of Pokemon. Like that is not the thing. It is the bonds, dude.
Yes.
That's the point. Ugh.
I feel like
love it.
Yeah.
I feel like for a competitive angle, there should always be some kind of aspect of being able to like catch them all and create a best team. But I think for narrative purposes, like they should have more separation from story and like online play. I feel like
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like they need a dedicated story mode where they can do things, take a little bit more risk that like break the structure of catch them all mentality. No, you like along your way, like you got like 6 Pokemon. If you get rid of one, it's like not perfect. Like same thing with Perdita. Like they're like you're gone. Like he's gonna go tell his other like relatives like you can never catch that type of Pokemon again. You'll still that's RP reason. You'll encounter them, but like they think badly of you. Like you released them and stuff. Or maybe like it's not made negative. Maybe it's like you've done such a great job, but like you're free now. You don't want to be that cruel trainer. Come back here. Like I need you. Like we need to win. Like no, you set him free. He's with his family now or whatever. Blah blah blah. Like they could definitely whatever the reason they do. It's you get whatever Pokemon you get, you're with, and you like is Kyle's ideas and stuff. You just either build those bonds if you want, or you just go through and steamroll. It's like, just power leveled down. They have no personality. If you still want that, it's still there. But you go do like those secret boss battles. That's how they learn their new move. Or now they will obey these commands above this because you've actually built trust with them. Like, it's more RP style.
And what I like about that initial pitch, Damiani, is that there is a competitive scene, but it's so hard to be competitive in Pokemon because you have to raise them perfectly. You have to spend hours and hours and hours just to get a Pokemon competitively viable. And even then, like if you're just experimenting, it might not work. It is insane that there are basically 2 online places where you can battle Pokemon, same rules, same Pokemon. That just like you just get the Pokemon for free. You can say, oh yeah, I want this Pokemon with these stats, with these moves. And it's like, yeah, here it is. I would love it if regular Pokemon games just gave you that. There's obviously a market for it. It's obviously huge. And I don't understand why not. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm assuming things. I think people in the competitive scene would have a better time if they could just skip all of that and have their teams of competitive teams and just play with those. Experiment, play around. Like, I don't know. I assume the hours and hours is part of the joy, maybe, but I think it'd be so much more interesting.
That seems like a powerful bond if you're raising them for competitive play.
It's not, dude. It's more of like hatching eggs, and it's like, oh, you have the wrong nature. Bye. Oh, you have the wrong nature. Yeah. Bye. Oh, you have the right nature. Okay, you're my little machine now.
Yeah.
It's like it's
they're machine numbers rather than little lives.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's I don't know how much work this would be. There could be a mode select at the beginning. I mean, Kyle's like pitch of that. There was just like if you go into online competitive mode, everyone gets to pick from the same like Pokemon. Like your stats will be the same as this. You both pick a Pikachu. They are exactly the same. I know some people get enraged, like, oh no, I did all this work to do this. This like a counter. Maybe there is let's call it competitive mode, story mode, where it is the same rules as before. Oh, you can have as many Pokemon and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't do any of those extra things that we talked about. There's no boss, no side quests or anything in Pokemon. It's just like streamlined, old school, traditional Pokemon. And then if you do like real story mode, it's like you will be restricted to just 6 Pokemon throughout your adventure, but you can increase your bond, go on side quests, and learn more about those Pokemon. And and like one thing it will require, Kyle, is you have to name all 6.
Yes.
You cannot just give them like the default name.
You gotta give them nicknames.
It will like reject you. It says like that's an acceptable name.
I think for that to be okay, like it'll give you a nickname, like old RPGs. It'll give you a nickname maybe, and then I'm not going to demand you be creative. And also, just want to self-correct because I know you're shouting at me. I know that you can train for abilities easier now, but still, like I hate the idea of breeding Pokemon for battle and tossing out the ugly ones.
It's ruthless underground.
Yeah, dude. Don't like it, man. Lord. I don't like it.
The Pokemon. I think that that's gonna wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
I had something else in case we were short, but we're definitely
not short.
We're definitely not short. We're at the end here, so it is time to wrap this up. It's time for our final evaluations here.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we had to do that.
Yeah. So not just what we discussed, but like what you remember from E3, so Nintendo's Direct, what they had playable, anything you might have seen in other streams or news things. How would you rate Nintendo's presence this year? How would you evaluate it?
All right, so there's a lot of things that just weren't as good as years prior. It wasn't the best booth. I think they could have even themed a better Smash Bros. Booth. I know that they had the stuff in glass cases, but yeah, I mean it wasn't the talk of the town. Like Zelda was, like Mario was. But I want to commend them for not showing too much, because we do get mad when we don't see things. Like, it was wrong to show Metroid Prime 4 last year. I get that it eased tensions about Metroid, so maybe it wasn't that wrong, but yeah. Anyway, cutting the chase, that's a B+. I'm proud of them for not showing too much, but no, you know what? That's not a B+. It's a B-. It's a C+. It's a C+. Okay, you put up a C performance. You put up a C performance, you get the plus for not showing too much, but no, it's a B-.
Are you sure?
I do not know why I'm putting so much thought into this.
Because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, dude. All right,
and it's E3.
It's a B-. I think the trailer for Fire Emblem was bad. It's a C+. C+.
Okay, C+.
Yep.
I'm gonna go C-.
Okay.
Slightly below average. No real reason other than I walked away from E3 and Nintendo thinking to myself, there's only one game this year that I'm excited for from them, and that's Smash. And that's a bad way to leave E3.
Yeah.
With no not hopelessness for the future, but like, there's not really a lot for me personally that I'm extremely excited for. I'm extremely excited for Smash, so that raises it up a bit. But other than that, walked away just kind of like,
I hear you.
So C plus,
C minus.
I remember I gave the Nintendo Direct a 7 out of 10, I believe. And after seeing everything they did, I'm probably gonna stick with just a C. I'll go in between you two.
Okay, the average. There it is.
I think the reasons I give it like I go that low, I do think they spent too much time in the Nintendo Direct with Smash Brothers. I think the information they conveyed could have either been presented in the Treehouse stuff that followed up.
Yeah.
It could have been better saved for that. I understand that then there's a new problem that their Direct would have been super short. Which means like now it's like that speaks to the amount of games they had. They didn't have enough. They probably could have shown off a little more. So a little bit of a weak overall lineup, spending too much time on the technicalities of Smash Brothers, which could have been presented better in other areas of their E3 conference. The booth theme was not as impressive as previous 2 years. Like they could have like recreated a stage from Smash Brothers or something, which would have been like cool.
And you pose with weapons. Yeah,
that would have been
it's
awesome.
obvious.
They had the props.
It's
Like,
obvious.
it was. I think they were going for like more space.
No, but I mean like Huber and Damiani are in a photograph. One's holding a hammer, the other's holding the
DDD's
submarine.
No, I know.
I wanted to grab it.
Yeah, let Huber grab the hammer.
Like they literally could have had that, or they could have
Yeah.
like a character doing a smash attack, and you got to get in there like you were the one getting smashed or
Oh,
something.
that's sick idea.
With,
Like taking a Falcon Punch.
Yeah, like
Yes.
something like that would have been great. Good photo ops, like kind of like missed there, other than like the things there.
Yeah.
But mostly the just the system they used for playing Smash Brothers there. The appointment stuff, I don't know if anyone else had any problems. Like, I didn't have a problem using it. It's just, I feel like they probably could have, like, how much time they were giving you initially, like, the few matches, they could have just had a line going and it's, like, had people, like I don't know if the appointment thing was necessary.
It didn't improve lines?
I don't know, because, like,
lines were crazy. I was
Smash
walking all
Brothers
over
was
there.
at,
Oh, okay.
Super Smash Brothers was
Nuts.
at E3 before the public was available. It was at an E3 for the Wii U one, and it wasn't ridiculous.
Well, I think there was an appointment area and then a standby.
There was a standby line,
Yeah.
which I think they just should have straight up done. Put a few. They could have fit in probably more boosts. 'Cause remember, Zelda was like neck back to back, like everything was stacked
Yeah,
together.
there was a lot of
I
unused space.
I get it was 4 players, and
Yeah.
they probably wanted people to have enough space. But I think the amount of I think they could have fit a few more stations in there. I think they could have just had like a general line. Like 2 lines, one for honor, one for glory. Like if you want, like just don't even do 1v1. They should have just got rid of the 1v1
That
mode.
makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm so bummed. I
Like,
played
just
1v1.
have 4-player
Ugh,
mode.
I didn't want
Only
it.
have
Yeah.
4-player mode. Fits more people in there. You get and like you have a chance to go back if you want to wait for the line. I think they could have served more people. I just don't know if anyone actually tried to play it and didn't get a chance to. But I think they could have tried what they did before, and if that didn't work, okay, so be it. But they have done a different system for it. It worked out just fine. Should have tried it out here. Who knows? Maybe they were told they had to do it by the fire marshal. I have no idea.
Sure.
But I did not like that. I did not like an appointment system. I don't like it for Sony. I don't like that.
To give them a little more credit,
Yeah.
the fact that Smash was playable to me was a big deal, and the excitement in that area was palpable. They had it on the big screen, people cheering. Because I look over at Sony and I'm like, I'm way more excited for Death Stranding, Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima. But
Where's the hype?
Where were they?
Where's the hype in
Yeah,
that booth?
they're literally behind the back doors. Like they weren't even there. So it is a big deal that Smash was there, playable, and there was so much excitement and emotion behind it.
I really wish the Invitational could somehow have been. I wish they would redirect their schedule so the Smash tournament could have been before E3 somehow. Like them just moving their direct earlier and then doing the Smash Invitational right after. Just having it during the show, you just don't get to. I didn't see any of it. I was like, what happened with this? Like,
Oh yeah, but I mean, for people at home, they got to
I don't know.
see
It's great.
Yeah.
I think it would get even more attention if it was done before.
Yeah,
Like
I think they did the Wii U one on a Sunday, if I remember correctly.
I guess because that was known already that the
Sure.
game existed.
Coming into E3, all we had seen is a CG trailer. I get what you mean. So this
I
was
mean,
the gameplay reveal.
I'm not holding that against them, but they did do
Yeah.
that. They did the Splatoon thing as well, the tournament for that. So they're still doing those like fan engagement events. So I give them credit for that. It's just I don't think it was. I don't know. I like the Nintendo World Championship things they do with all the crazy, like, you know, with Mario Maker and stuff like that.
Oh, that was really fun.
Those are like
That
I
was
think are
really
cooler
fun, yeah.
to like watch, especially go back and watch them after. Like they're pretty fun.
Yeah.
So they do a good job with that. So like
They'll
I'll
be
give
an
them
A
that.
next year. I think next year
Hopefully.
Nintendo will be back to A for sure.
Like if they did all this and this, like this is probably like it's close to like the weakest they can do without getting into really dark times territory, which I
Yeah.
don't like severe software drought days. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this is probably the worst it will be for a while.
Yep.
And I expect next year's to be a vast improvement
Every
because
year
they'll have
that
better
goes
software.
by is a year closer to Mario and Zelda.
Huber just wants that like next E3 where we get new Mario and Zelda again announced.
No rush.
And it's like back to that A+.
Every
You'd be
like 3-4
yeah.
years, 5 years, whatever, it's fine.
It's mostly like I'm speaking mostly about the Nintendo Direct. Honestly, still like I gave that a 7C.
Yeah.
It's that and everything kind of followed suit. Everything was as expected. No real big surprises. So I mean, it's fine. It
Yep.
was okay.
Next year,
Next year.
Pokemon 2019 Far-Fetched Quest.
Well, next year is gonna have a lot.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
A lot of stuff next year. That is going to wrap it up for this episode of Friend Code. I want to thank you to all of our $5 and up patrons who submitted questions for us for this episode. If you would like to submit questions for consideration for us to talk to on each episode of Friend Code, just look for the patrons post on Patreon. A little too many patrons.
You used to call it Patron's Pulse.
I know, and that
Yeah,
also
yeah.
threw me for a loop.
Yep.
I'll make a post on Patreon the week we are recording the episode
No
calling
pulse.
calling for submissions. And I will let you know what the subject is so that you can cater your questions towards our topics.
I'd say the questions were really good this week.
Yeah,
Those were
there were a
really
lot
good
I had.
questions,
Like
yeah.
we just because by our nature we will sometimes go beyond what you asked, just because that's how our discussions go.
I ask a lot of
so there are a lot of
questions.
questions. There are a lot of questions
Sorry.
I skipped over that we ended up talking about. So just. You should be able to tell that, like, we talked about your subject. I would probably pick your question, but we get way more questions in this way than before. That's why we do it this way. But thank you again for all those great questions. Thank you to you both for joining me on this episode of Friend Code. And until next time, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.